So just a little look at our upper pond, if you will. It's not actually a pond, we just excavated some dirt to use in the garden. Not even really cut into the ground per se, but this incredible amount of water on the hillside right now. We're kind of watching and learning about the flow of water across the land. And you can see that this area is actually a pretty perfect spot for a pond. So this would be a place where we're going to try and get approval to put in a pond later on down the road. The landscape itself bleeds water out into this spot, as well as right now, something I hadn't seen before, just this crazy amount of water. There's an inlet stream and just an absolute stream coming out of it as well. So I'm going to kind of follow this stream up to the top of the property and try and see what we can see about where maybe it's coming from. I think most of it is coming from, there's a spot at the top of our property where there's kind of a year-round trickle that dissipates into the soil just before our land. And there's a spot up here where there was a pond at one point, and then I think the previous owner messed with it a little bit. So we're taking a look at that and just seeing, what the land does. Wow, look at this incredible amount of water right now from these last rains. So yeah, this is filled right up again. It's not really holding the water, but our regular trickle is coming down off the hillside as an actual stream. Some of the water is coming out kind of under that rock there, and then just proceeding down the hillside here. It looks like it's cutting two ways, going to the right to the southern part of the hill, and then going down to the left and joining in with that lower pond area. I haven't really taken as much time as I would like on these major rain events to see exactly what comes out of it, but let's follow this side over here, try and get an idea of where that watershed is going to and what that looks like. I think it comes down here into this spot below the bigger fir trees, and then yeah, you can see there's right over there's a spot where it's got some thicker grass, a different type of grass, and they're kind of ponding along this hillside here, all through here. It's a raised spot so that the water is hitting that and settling in. The last rain event we'd had, the water came down along this little slope here. There's a slope right along through there on the other side off of that same upper pond, and wanted to see if it's doing that this time too. Yeah, look at that. So it comes around the back here and around behind this tree, and goes into that little sumpy spot right there, all coming from right up there by that piece of irrigation pipe. It comes right under the fence there. But the hill is just producing an incredible amount of water, and we're seeing spots ponding right now. We've never seen pond before. In some places the water is literally just coming out of like gopher holes or spots in the ground at a pretty incredible volume, like gallons per minute easily coming out, almost like you had a hose turned on from the house. So there's quite the waterway there from that. We'll want to figure out what we want to do with that. The pond, if we can put one in there if we're permitted to, it would be ideal. And then you can see this pond here has a kind of an upper slope right through there. We would cut right through here with a drainage trench across this line here. You can see that the hillside comes over to here, and then just right down here there's another low point within the landscape. I'd love to just have ponds ring the hillside and retain the water after these rain events to more slowly disperse it back down into the soil. I'm going to walk down to the orchard and show you some of the places where the water travels below the surface of the ground, and then once it hits some of the spots where we cut for terraces, it's just crazy. It really pours in. You can see these terrace lines have become basically ponds. They've got an incredible amount of water, and they're slowing it and kind of temporarily capturing it, maybe even a little bit more than I would like. So we'll kind of rework those just to allow the water to travel along, but then escape on these major rain events down further along the hillside a little bit better. Some of them really do have a large impact. There's a spot right down here where the upper hillside slope, closer to where we're standing, just drops water out of it like crazy, visibly moving water even days after rain events. So that area seems to be a natural porous spot for the whole hillside drainage. From our forest up here, our neighbors have quite a bit of acreage up top of the forest. We're most of the way down the hill, so a pretty incredible amount. Other thing that I'm looking at right now is it's awesome how much after just a couple of weeks we're getting a lot of good growth back in the grass here. This was grazed 3 weeks ago now, and a lot of it has rebounded enough to where I could consider rotating back into this space when we dry up, but I have a bunch of other fields that could use it the same treatment, rotation, getting the animals back into it. Over here you'll see the cistern area, and there's some streams just coming off right now. You can really see them. The water is just pouring and moving as like right out of the side of the hill through there. It's just coming down like crazy. And you can see up there, maybe, let's try zooming in. You can see the water just really coming in. Right now it's a little trickle. We're about 30 minutes behind a rain event, but still coming off the roof quite well. So it's pretty awesome that it's been only about 2 weeks, but these two big cisterns here, from that drainage assembly, the water comes in, fills up that lower first pipe right through here, and once that fills up with water, because there's just a tiny outlet to drain after the rain event, the water comes along this spot up through here and over along that line there, and then down into the first cistern, and then down here on the bottom, that's open to both cisterns through those valves, and fills up the second cistern as well. And we've actually got, I'm guessing after another day or so, probably 4,000 gallons. It was probably about 3,000 when I checked yesterday between the two. So we've got a couple of weeks of pretty rainy weather left, and we're looking to get these two 5,000 gallon tanks filled up for a total of 10,000. So it'll be pretty exciting to see that even as late as we got them put in, we'll get some results out of that, hopefully. So we'll just kind of duck through the barn here. Look at this incredible amount of water that's coming down the hillside, and right now you can see that from the cistern area it just kind of pours through here and out through and down. Really not an ideal drainage situation, not a solution at all. So we're going to try and fix that and have it meander a little bit more, and definitely not come right through this yard. This yard needs to be workable space here. We're going to clean all of this debris here up, and then this is actually the route from right here. There's a gate. This is where we'd come up with equipment and kind of pull up into here and then back up through here and in here into the barn for hay loads and moving animals and everything. So not an ideal place for there to be this much much moisture movement. We did just move the chicken coop to its new home. It was up here on the hillside, and I wanted it closer to where we could keep an eye on the chickens when we get them and manage that a little bit more intensely and use them in the yard. So it's got right over here now. I attached a chain to it and pulled it. They had built it on 2 lower beams, so it was pullable like a skid. We pulled that puppy from over here, that pad. I pulled it through the gate here, disassembled all the electric wire to get it through, backed it up into that spot. So I have some roof repair work to do. This windstorm these last 3 days have just ripped that tarp into pieces. Even with the weights on it, it's not really doing a whole lot. But I think it'll survive into summertime, and I can probably still keep most of the decking. Inside's in pretty good shape. So we'll get that rehabilitated and get some chickens in it as soon as we can. Maybe next time there's a dry patch I can get in there. But yeah, look at this water. That's just an incredible flow. This is not supposed to be a stream. This is supposed to be a road, not a stream. So right now it's just kind of running down, and I'm actually gonna follow it because I haven't seen this area since we moved that coop. It's cut some rivulets through here, and it looks like it's naturally wanting to just travel along and kind of ponding through this space along below the oak tree. And oaks don't mind wintertime wet roots. They don't like it in the summertime. They don't mind the winter. So what we've talked about doing is out here at the edge of the drip line, kind of, the oak tree, you can see there's another stream right through here. Look at this. You can see that going really good. And right now, we don't know where it goes to, but there's actually we hit an old drain line from somewhere, probably off of the barn, that's just putting out an incredible amount of water, and we'd like to harness that and redirect a lot of it. Right now this entire channel is just an incredible amount of water going down through here. It'd be nice to be able to kind of redirect that into the landscape in the summer, and then outside of that during the wintertime into a pond to fill, you know, for summer use. Small pond could go right here, kind of just at the edge of the tree, and at the end of the run here there's a nice space I could cut out for a pond. We'll see whether that's something I even feel like end up wanting to do. But yeah, look at that volume. That's pretty incredible. Whole hillside is just so saturated. And up here, this water kind of pools here for a little bit and then comes out down below in yet another stream. You can kind of see, looking out, there's a lot of reflective in the orchard coming from all the water that's standing right now. Just had so much come down. All the trees so far seem to look like, I don't think we've lost anything that we've planted. This is a Kiefer dwarf European pear. I'm really excited about, very happy where we've got it planted. We just put this one in from Rain Tree the other day. Or maybe this is Burnt Ridge. Let's take a peek. Yes, this is an Enterprise apple, and I can just see the little teeniest of buds starting to come out on it. But so far it looks like everything is gonna make it, one after another. They've been coming out with 60+ degree temperatures we've been having. So I'm really excited about that. Getting leaf out on, budding out on all the plants. They seem happy in our terraces that we're working on building. Oh my gosh, yeah, look at this, just this crazy amount of water. So that's not supposed to be a pond. That's not supposed to be a stream or a river, but it's taking on all that water from the barn that's not, you know, being harvested by the roof. All the water that's falling kind of hits the barn, hits that drainage line, and then comes down in one of those two places. And it's just an incredible volume from the hillside. And with us putting in the terrace, it's really just sopped the area up. And actually, looking at this, I'm pretty concerned about this one particular plant. That's a a plum, so it might be okay with that for a few days, but it's even a plum is not this Mirabelle. It's not going to want to have that wet of feet. So I wonder if I can just cut a channel through here to kind of redirect it from ponding so much there, and maybe just skipping it by until I can address that. But yeah, look at that. Just this whole way down filled with water. Pretty incredible. That bird in the background that you can hear is a killdeer. I've got a couple of them out here in the orchard, and they're very concerned when we come into the area that we're going to find their nest and mess with their kids. So she's scolding me and telling me that she's injured to try and draw me the way that she wants me to go, away from her nest. They're pretty cute little birds. A little annoying, but have every right to make nests out in the orchard. I have no problem with that. Yeah, wow, that's so much water. Hopefully that doesn't have too much of a bad impact on the plants. Mostly this one I had to pop in pretty quick. I wanted to build it up a little bit more, and hopefully with a few clever cuts that can be the case, but most of them are up on a mound. You can kind of see that through these lower trees here. Hopefully that translates into, you know, keeping their roots a little bit drier. Plants are mostly desirous of moisture, but not saturation. Especially trees, fruit trees can't take saturation for very long. The roots actually drown and then they die out. The plant, if it doesn't kill the plant, it'll regrow roots and aggressively, and it'll follow the water down as the season goes on, and you have water, you know, that goes further and further into the soil will follow it down. But they don't like that, and that's something that we'd hope to address with the raised beds, because we knew that was the case on this hillside to a degree. That's just partly the soil, partly Oregon. So we'll see. Yeah, pretty incredible. Well, hopefully we'll get those tanks filled over this next little bit, and if the trees all make it or don't, we'll keep you updated and let you know what else we have going on here on the hillside over this next couple of weeks as we go into the main part of spring. All right, thanks for taking a peek, guys, and listen to me ramble, and hopefully we'll do more of these soon.